You know, there are a million songs about summer. And then there's the one song that sounds like it wants to punch summer right in the face. Yeah, we're talking about that iconic, sweltering 90s anthem from Deftones, My Own Summer, Shove It.
I mean, that chorus, it's not really a sing-along, is it? It's a primal scream. It's just three words, repeated with this raw, guttural force that perfectly captures this feeling of being completely and totally fed up. It's the sound of someone hitting their absolute limit. But here's the thing we're going to dig into. What if that visceral scream against the season is actually a Trojan horse for something way deeper? What if the sun is just a stand-in for a much, much bigger enemy? Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get the song's massive metaphorical weight, we gotta start at the very beginning, with its surprisingly simple and, well, very literal origin story. So picture this. It is the summer of '97. The band is holed up in a Seattle studio, working insane hours, often all night long, trying to craft the follow-up to their debut album. And it is hot. And this, right here, is the source of it all. The band's singer, Chino Moreno, is trying to get some sleep during the day after these long recording sessions, and he's just being tormented by the summer sun pouring into his room. So what does he do? He literally covers his windows with aluminum foil, plunging his room into this self-made darkness. The song was born from a direct, physical battle against a star. And that simple act, that is the key. That feeling, that impulse to just block out the world, reject the light, and create your own cool, dark, personal sanctuary, that right there became the entire emotional core of My Own Summer. So now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at how that simple act of putting up aluminum foil blossoms into this huge, universal anthem of alienation. Because in the world of the song, the sun pretty quickly stops being just the sun. It becomes the ultimate bad guy, a symbol for everything the narrator is desperately trying to escape. And you can see that transformation so clearly here. The literal heat of the sun becomes the metaphorical pressure to be social, to go outside. The bright light becomes this feeling of forced happiness that summer sometimes demands. And the sun itself, the big star, becomes the symbol for unwanted exposure, for the eyes of the outside world. And just listen to how the lyrics build this world. When he says, "Hey, you big star," it's not admiration, it's sarcasm, a jab at this oppressive force. Then he calls it a big mood, as if the entire social atmosphere of summer is this one unbearable thing. That whispered word you hear, cloud, it's this desperate plea for relief. And in this universe, darkness isn't scary. No, the shade is a tool, a device, a savior. It's salvation. And get this is a mind-blowing piece of trivia. You know that phrase we all use now, big mood? It's everywhere. Well, this song is the first documented use of that term. All the way back in 1997, Deftones were literally 2 decades ahead of the meme curve, using it to describe this exact feeling of an oppressive, all-encompassing vibe. Wild, right? So what is the ultimate fantasy here? What is this own summer that he's fighting for? Well, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic paradise, a world with no crowds, no social pressure, and absolutely no sun. Just perfect, comfortable, empty isolation. Okay, so we've got the lyrics down, but what about the music itself? Let's dive into how the producer, Terry Date, didn't just record a song, he built an entire sonic world that feels exactly like this desire for isolation. So Terry Date is an absolute legend. And his whole philosophy was key here. He aimed for what he called clarity in the weight. So what does that mean? It means the sound could be crushingly heavy, but you could still hear every single instrument with perfect clarity. No mud, just massive articulated power. Now, listen closely to the verses. The production is literally designed to make you feel trapped. Chino's vocals are filtered to sound like they're coming through a cheap megaphone, making them feel distant and confined. The drumming is all twitchy and syncopated, almost like an insect scurrying around, and it all just coils around that iconic, kind of seasick guitar riff, building up this palpable, repressed tension. And then the chorus hits, and it is a total sonic explosion. The vocal filter is gone, replaced by Chino's raw, throat-shredding scream. The guitars erupt into this massive wall of sound that hits you from the left and the right. The drums suddenly sound huge and open. All that energy from the verse is just unleashed in this wave of pure, cathartic rebellion. It is the sound of the aluminum foil being ripped down. So when you put that lyrical depth together with that incredible sonic innovation, you don't just get a great song. You get something that cements a band's identity and leaves a permanent mark on the culture. I mean, just look at its journey. It drops in '97, immediately gets international attention. That unforgettable music video with the band in a shark cage becomes an MTV staple. Then, in '99, it lands on the soundtrack for The Matrix, cementing its whole dark, futuristic vibe. And then, amazingly, 20 years after it came out, its lyrics spark a viral meme.
And the critics, they absolutely agree. I mean, publications like Kerrang have called it the single best Deftones song ever written. Spin ranked it as the third greatest nu metal track of all time, and Rolling Stone even placed it among the 100 greatest heavy metal songs. Its status is, it's undeniable. So in the end, that's really the magic of My Own Summer. It starts in the most mundane, relatable place you can imagine, a hot room and a bad day's sleep. But it spins that simple frustration into this timeless, powerful anthem for anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed and just wished the world would leave them alone. Which kind of leaves us with one last thought. The song gives a voice to that oppressive force, that sun that you just want to push away. So listening to it now, you have to ask yourself, what's yours?